All right, and we are live. All righty. Hey, everybody. I'm Rob the Builder. Can we build it? Yes, we can. What's a shilling for the meter? Is that where you put a coin in and that's when you get your electricity? Things you learn, if I'm correct on that one. I know it's a thing in the UK. Or at least I think it was. Anyway, here I am. Now, today we're doing a color on the three colors we need to do on the P-51D. There's olive, there's red, and there's yellow. Har, there he blows. Har, har, har. Now, I'll show you something that I have discovered on the assembly sheets. I had planned to do olive today. As to how Popeye feels about that, well, that's his fucking problem. Yeah, I went there. Now, yeah, I'll show you. Then you'll understand what I'm waffling about. That's generally the easy way around these things now, isn't it? But first, as always, caffeine. Oh, yeah. Round we come. Now, what it is, good people, what it is, okay. Let me just roll the sleeves up for a moment. Okay. On the one we are choosing to do the insignia for being this one, Creamer's Dream. Who can't honestly say they don't like being creamer? Ooh, sounds a bit saucy. No, seriously. Now, so there's yellow to go on a little part of the tail there. Obviously on the propeller blades, but good people. There's also, if you go to the vertical shot, yellow that goes, and interestingly, this one's much thinner than the other two here. We'll be able to get a good idea as to the width of the line based on the decals. What I'm pondering, and hang on a moment. I would suggest there's possibly a bit of red here. We can have a bit of jiggery pokery too when the time comes. But what I'm speculating about is painting those rather than using decals. They're a cleaner look overall. This is also interesting. I had thought I'd need to do red on the wingtips, but you don't on this one. Interesting. Or that one for that matter. All right, you can't see what I'm waffling about. Hey, Sprue, how you doing? Excuse me a moment, guys. Is that better? Okay, what I was pointing out here, guys. Sorry about that. Thank you for bringing it to my attention. Sometimes the lights are on, but no one's really home. Now, they've given us decals to put on the ends of the propellers. I gotta say, that actually seems to me like just way too much hassle. It's quicker or it'll be easier just to paint the bloody things. Why would you? And you got to go some on the back, some on the front. Fuck that. We're going to paint that. Now, here are the stripes. These are the ones we would have used. Interestingly, and I'm going to check this out. It looks visually, it's all pretty visual. Oh my God. That reminds me. Oh, hey Brian, how you doing? Bassman, you much of a Rocky Horror fan? As in the Rocky Horror Picture Show? Now, so what I'm seeing here is that's our lines. I'm going to see. I'll get the ruler out and we'll measure if they are thick or whether that's just my imagination. It may just be my imagination. Yes, it might. Yes, it might. Now, zoom out. Now, ruler. Now, we want a very small one for this occasion. Where will I put them? There we'll put them. Oh, come now. Oh, what have you done, boy? Oh, hey, cutie, go hey, me. How you doing? Oh, well, it was just that when I said there was something I made mention of while I was tinkering there, and it reminded me of on the topic of singing sort of things. Excuse me a moment. There is another way I can go about this in the short term. Where the hell have I put all my rulers? I know where they bloody are. All this for summer. Come here, use. Come here. There we go, that'll do it. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, getting back to the Rocky Horror Picture Show, Bassman. What I was mostly thinking was, how do you do? I see you've met my faithful handyman. He's a bit let down because when you came round, he thought you were the candy man. Don't be strung out by the way I look. Don't judge a book by its cover. I'm not much of a man by the light of day. By night, I'm one hell of a lover. I'm just a sweet transvestite. Sweet transvestite from transsexual Transylvania. Why don't you hang round and play you a sound? You both seem pretty groovy. Or if you're into something visual that's not too abysmal, you could take in an old Steve Reeves movie. Now, of course, that's when we need to make sure we get the right propellers here, guys. Ben Brad chips out with the. No, that's fine. We'll go back to our car. We don't mean to be any worry. Yes, that's right. So you're caught with a flat. Well, how about that? Well, darling, don't you panic. By the light of the night, it'll all be all right. I'll get you a satanic mechanic. I'm just a sweet transvestite. The transvestite from transsexual Transylvania. Why don't you stay for the night? Night. Or maybe a bite. Bite. I'll show you my latest obsession. I've been building a man with blonde hair and a tan. And he's good for easing my tensions. But maybe the rain isn't all to blame. So I'll cure the cause, but not the symptoms. And there we have it. So we're looking for C8. Oh, interesting. Oh no, C9s we're looking for. Let us check our numbers, people. I would suggest they are not the ones we are after. We have a winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Now, do a bit of making this a bit easier for ourselves. Yeah, I should probably put a warning on my channel identifier. I've been put up to singing on occasion by some of my viewers. Brace yourselves. But yes, that was one I used to trot out at parties. And it's tell you something free of charge. You want to get attention from chicks? That's the shit you want to be trotting out. Now we can get all of this out of the way. That's ones we don't need. Now we are getting there. We do need these. Now, how to go about this, kids? We'll do this. Now, I'm going to hope that by holding that will stay on. The last one flew off, and that's, well, it didn't fly off, but it broke off, and that was less than ideal in my eyes. Yes, it was. It's far easier to find if it's actually on something, you know. Now, while I'm here, I don't need to do that, but what I might do has the potential to was that. That will make our life just that little bit easier when putting the tape across that. That can get out of the way. Now, this masking should be fairly easy. Well, yeah, it should be fairly easy. Stop that, I ask you. Now, for the time being, we're going to very gently oh, bugger. Well, that's not actually, look at this. The actual shape of those original bits of putty, not putty, blue, okay, now it's fucking with me, but a large part of those shapes remain. So we should have not too much trouble. There we go. Winner. Almost. We'll get the other one on. And then we'll start identifying where precisely we need to get these lines of yellow. And then we'll make the relevant masks. That won't be hard to do either, I don't think. Now. Dealy. Deary me. There we go. Now, slide that into there a bit more. Our line will come up through about there, roughly through there, I would suggest. All right. That's them back into position, pretty much. Might get a tooth. Oh, actually, I can use that. Now. All right. Next, we'll go for some of the easy options first. I've got to say, one thing they have done rather well here, I'll give you a zoom in on this actually, now that I've just noticed, that would make the deckling approach they've supplied easier, excuse me, but also offers a very clear and defined point to paint with. I must say, well done, Hasegawa here. Yep. Look at that. Gee, I wonder where the yellow goes. That's really handy. I've never seen that on a kit before. So yeah, there we have it. Now then, next, good people. I'm less bothered if I get, I'm not going to go to covering the whole propeller blade here. I'm just trying to draw a line in the bigger reality. In fact, I could probably even get away with not masking this sort of stuff purely by virtue of the fact that black's going on top. Gee, I would suggest that black would probably win that little color combat. So, you know, hey. Deedly. Now, oops, no, we don't. Come here. I can put, no, I won't worry about going any higher. That's okay. As I said, black will just take care of business from there. Deedly, deedly. Now, about In fact, I could probably get away without even masking these. It's just me being very particular, as I am prone to be, or wont to be. Shall we go with? We'll go with won't. Yes, so I like that. Now, delete. Alrighty. There we go. Boom. One lot done. Excuse me a moment. I'll try to remember to turn my mute back off, shall I? I'm back. Now, next we need to do a little bit of masking there. And again, I don't mind leaving a bit of space because we've got colour to go over the top of that. And that colour is actually red in that instance, but that's fine. It's a darker colour than the yellow. There we go. There's a starting point. A bit more there. Okay, now. Oops, daisy. Now, a lot of this aircraft I probably don't need to mask up by virtue of the fact of I don't have to cover a big area with the yellow, so I don't need to go hammer and tongs with the airbrush. However, because I'm pretty anally retentive, I will like as not still go for quite a big covering, or just get some big bits and go slap, just to keep myself feeling good about the world. That's just the way I am. And that's just the way I roll. Right. I almost did a bit more singing then, just quietly, because I do that in my own time. I do. I don't just do it on live streams. I do it in my own time just for a bit of a chuckle. And it's probably just as well I didn't chirp out with it, because it's one of my favourite songs, and the song is pretty dark, by the way. Diary of a Madman by Ozzy Osbourne. I believe the lyrics were written by Bob Daisley, the bass player. And when he was in his teens, he'd had mental health issues and kept a diary, hence Diary of a Madman. And unsurprisingly, the lyrics are savage. But they're great, really powerful stuff. I almost just, as I'm sitting here, tinkering away, I'm almost about to chirp out with screaming at the windows. Watch me die another day. Hopeless situations, endless price I have to pay. Yeah, cheerful stuff, but then given the topic, whew. There's a lot of Ozzy Osbourne lyrics I quite like singing, actually. I'm a big Ozzy fan, to be honest. Mostly because of his work with guys like Randy Rhoads, Zakk Wylde, Jake. Mostly it was Randy that got me into Ozzy, and by extension, into Black Sabbath, and then in turn to his work with Jakey Lee, and of course Zakk Wylde. I like Zakk Wylde as a guitarist. He's a gun. Yeah. Sanity now is beyond me. There's no choice. Yeah, there we go. Diary of a Madman. Walk the line again today. Entries of confusion. Dear diary, I'm here to stay. Now, getting there. So that's that one all set up. Now, where is our line that goes bang across the wing? Give me my assembly sheets. Give me a moment, guys. And we all, here we go. Now, this shouldn't be too hard to get right. One wouldn't have thought. Otherwise, you wouldn't be doing decals with it now, would you? Hey? Bing. Aha. Right. There's a very easy line to use as a point of reference, I would suggest. And that line kicks in, just, I'll zoom in. Now, if we go to, right, our line is going to come down, goes pretty much touches the edge of that red, well, there's a little red thing, that'll become red in time. If we go straight down there, that's that area, that obviously on that side is not yellow, but that's one edge. And then we just got to make sure we get our edge right on this side. That easy, kids. Now, the only question I really have is how heavy-handed do I want to go with the tape front? I mean, I can go big and chunky from the outset, as long as I get the line straight, that's fine. Yeah, we'll do that. Big and chunky. Delay. Scissors might actually no, I can just go to there we go. Dearie me. Now our line, and in fact I can even go actually. Oh, a gunmetal grey stayed. Nice. So just want to make sure that it's There we are. Yeah. There comes a certain point to which you can also go, when it comes to this sort of thing, gee, if I'm having that much of a hard time saying, is that straight, then, yeah, that's probably straight enough. It looks nice and straight, and what I'm trying to draw as a parallel is the fuselage here. So, yeah. Next. We'll do the same on the other side, and we might as well, whilst we're doing this one, or that side, we can do the undercarriage that same way, pretty obviously, because, well, there's a useful, when it comes to doing these, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go use that as a point of reference. So it's clearly right up the top, quite a long way up the top, which is fine. In the meantime, let us now the color for this will be trainee yellow, I would suggest, which I might have out already. If not, I'll obviously have to get it out. It's not that hard. Or it might be, we'll see. Now then. Yeah, that's right. I remember now. Yeah. Hey, bitch. You fucker. Stay on. What am I? There we go. That's probably going to help the cause, big boy. There we are. There we go. Yep. That's looking. Yep. Okay. Now, these next bits, theoretically, should be much easier on account of we have something to line up with. That's the theory, kids. Note use of that wonderful word, theory. Oh, good Lord. That was a nice mouthful of coffee, I tells you. Now, all right. Right. Now we'll get that nice and snug into there. Getting there, kids. given the what is in actuality a very small amount of paint in this color, I think I may have made a bit of a rod for my own back. Never mind. Oh, come here, you. Not quite there. There we go. Nice. Right. Now, I believe it's about 3 mil we need. Let's measure that out. No, it's more than that. That looks to me to be about 5 or 6 mil. Be that as it may, kids, we're looking at I stand corrected. I'm in 4 mil. Now, I'm going to line that with. No, not really. What I might do, give me a moment. Let's see if I have. Of course I do. Bam. So, if I go up to here, maybe. About there. All right. Now I'm going to go for a thin piece of tape. Like so. Now, my battery is starting to run a bit low on my headset, but not so badly that I need to be concerned. All right. We're going to trim this off because obviously getting things in the way is not helpful. Now, interestingly, yeah, it's going to be an unwrapping process as well, and then there's the ensuing colors. Now, in some instances, like with the this will be easier on the other side. There we go, because we now have a line. A little bit tight up that way. Boom. Right. Now, we'll do the other side that way, as in this wing. And then what we're going to do is we are going to do the underside. Now that's going to be far easier. Far easier. measure. And then, once we've tidied up those, where did I put there's the ruler? Once we've secured a few other bits and bobs, as far as from a masking perspective, we shall paint. Yes, we shall. Now, go for... Now, I might actually, I haven't totally given up on the idea of painting the hull on the Boss Mustang. And following your suggestion, David, I may yet use this methodology. If I do decide to pursue it, I'll set it up off camera, having frustrated myself on camera in trying to get that right. And then we'll worry about that in due course. But I have lots of other stuff to work on. In the meantime, as we can see now, a little higher up that way. There we go. Boom. Right. Now we're getting places with this, I tells you. All righty. Oh, hey, Carlos, how you doing? Look, I got to say, it comes together real nicely as far as assembly and stuff. Some of the guys who are watching at the moment can tell you of a tale of woe that I went through with a it was actually an armor hobby, and it was actually quite upsetting from the viewpoint. It gets itself off a really awesome detail, and then proceeded to put a quite significant bone at my clacker when it came to putting the wings on, which you think is a bit of a non-negotiable. But yeah, these these stripes are going to be yellow. Now these ones will be, I need to zoom in for this. We're doing that. Those stripes there, that also appear on the upper wings there. A little stripe there, and the propellers. That's it. End of the day. But the anyway, Carlos, the thing where I'm going to be I did manage to do, however, was I managed to salvage a lot of the stuff out of the armor hobby kit. I think I need that to be a bit longer. And I've actually put it inside the Hasegawa, and unfortunately at the moment you can't see it, or I can't show it to you. The canopy. My headset's getting very temperamental apparently. Now hopefully we'll get all of this done before the before it drops out. I'm pretty sure I will. Because we're pretty close now. If my sound drops out, could one of you guys do me the unestimable favor of saying sounds dropped out? Because if that happens, then I'll just, well, pretty obviously wind the stream up because, well, no sounds. but I would be unaware. There we go. Right, now we are getting places. Now I just want to seal up this area around here. I can probably go chunky for a punky. That was the kit that did it to me, Carlos. Look, the kit, as far as from a detail perspective, it's hard work. The detail is awesome. Now, hopefully you'll have a better run with getting the wings on than I did. That was the moment, that was the bit that broke my heart. My cold, dark, embittered heart. But at the end of the day, I got them into there, and they do look great. Once I've got this painting done, is not just this color. Obviously, there's two other colors after this. Come here, you. I'll take care of business. A goodly chunk of it. Yeah. Now, we'll next go that way with a similar piece. And yeah, it was actually quite upsetting because having had all this beautiful detail, and the detail is beautiful, I will not say otherwise, then just not be able to get the wings on. I filed, and eventually I even got to a point of having gone through one of the parts that was stopping it from going in. It just wasn't happening. I said, you know what? Nah, that's what I said. I may have said a few other things too. But yeah, that said, like I said, the detail on it was superb. But hopefully you get a better outcome on the wings going on than I did. That's pretty much the extent of my commentary. Now, I do have some other armor hobbies. However, one of the things about them that might still make them, or not make me so wary, is that in one instance, it's, in fact, a couple of instances, they're hurricanes. Now, there's limits to how far you can have a hard time getting the wings on a hurricane. You know, it's just trying to, you put your fuselage together, your wings splatch. So, particularly as one of the most importantly to me anyway, is a, see, I'm just having a bit of a look-see there, a Mark II hurricane. Now, the thing that differentiates a Mark II hurricane from a Mark I is that the Mark II was developed after the Battle of Britain. During the Battle of Britain, the Spitfire pretty much had made itself the interceptor of choice of the RAF. Now, there's no surprise to that. The Hurricane was a crucial fighter, good for the bombers and stuff, but ultimately the Spitfire was the one they chose to run with. So what they did with the Hurricane design, so they set it up for ground attack, and that was the Hurricane Mark II. Now, they weren't actually very, come here. Doing one wing is always easy, and then the other wing is always a bit of a boning, I find. Come here. Stop that. He's been advancing behavior. And there we go, a bit there. Anyway, What was it waffling about? Yes. Anyway, they sort of what they did with the Mark II was it had heavier armor on the fuselage, different armament. The detail on because bear in mind I went minus to 72. I go all my kits are generally with the exception of things like cars and stuff, minus to 72, purely for ease of display. Anyway, yeah, the detail was amazing. It was really the highlight of the whole kit for me, and that's why when the wings didn't come to the party, it was just like, what the grumble. Anyway, but yeah, your Mark II Hurricane, more heavily armored, different armament, but they still didn't quite cut it as a ground assault aircraft, and that's why the give me a moment here, guys. I just need to get that under there, around there we go. That's why the Hawker Typhoon was developed. And the Typhoon had its failings. It was good, but had its failings, and that's why ultimately the Tempest was the upgrade. And you'll notice in the naming of them that they're all storms, or terms for storm: a hurricane, a tempest, a typhoon. So yeah, there we have it. There we go. Might as well go all out. I haven't taken it this far. Hey guys. Oh geez, I don't think I can go too much. A little bit there perhaps. The wingtips, and I'm done. The mummy. All right, the rest, yeah, bang, bang, that'll be easy. But yeah, I've got a Hurricane Mark II that's armor hobby. And I would like to build that, so because I've got a Mark I, I've got a Tempest, I've got a Typhoon, and then I'd have the whole set, so to speak. I have the whole run, going from its original through to what it eventually became. Now, I have speculated that therefore I should really get myself a Euro. Oh, here we go. Oh, yeah, look. Actually, what I'd like to build now, I believe that was a Typhoon, but be that as it may. Klosterman, I've got Klosterman's Spitfire Mark 9. I'll be building that at some stage. Now, yay! We finally got that one done. Now, the only thing I need to consider is, we'll worry about that in a minute. Anyway, and that would be now what we need to do, in fact. I would like to build the Typhoon of Jean Longchamp. No, the tail. Longchamp was he was the son of a Belgian aristocrat. He was an aristocrat by birth. His father stayed in Belgium when the Nazis arrived, and his son Jean went to the UK to fight against the invaders, as one might. Anyway, point is, at one stage, the Gestapo murdered Longchamp's father, which he rather took exception to, which, to be fair, I'd probably take a bit of exception to it. Now, I'm not quite sure on the exact details, but he basically used an RAF plane. I think he might have diverted from a mission or whatever, done something he shouldn't ought to have done. But ultimately, he took out the Gestapo headquarters in Brussels single-handed before flying around, doing a loop, and then flying low enough down one of the main streets to drop a Belgian flag and then flying off. For this, I think he actually may have been demoted, but they also gave him a Distinguished Service or DFC. I'm not sure if you got an award of some variety. So basically, no, you shouldn't have done it. Good on you. In a very British sort of thing. Okay, we'll just do that roughly. So yeah, it is an awesome story. Yeah, and there's actually a statue of the guy in Brussels to this day, I believe. So that makes it all the more reason, you know. Let's just have a bit of a gander here. Use that as a bit of guide. I'm not going to be too. Another one I'd like to build is, and this is actually Mosquito. There's two Mosquitoes I'd be interested in building, actually. Any one of the ones that took part in the attack on either of the Gestapo at Amiens or the attack on Colditz. Either would do nicely. Excuse me a moment, guys. Probably just seeing my hand there, which is not really. There we go. That's the angle. Anyway, and what I need to consider here, will that actually even touch the table? What I'm speculating is, how much do I need to worry about those? Because everything else I'm going to do in this color is just bang. That's not going to be, oh, hang on, apart from these, which are already mounted. I could probably even just go bang. That'd be quite safe. So I can even do that. All right. All right. And I'll also just go bang, because that's just going to make it easier to do. All right. All set up then. Yeah, possibly. It's the sort of thing he would cover. It is a great story. All the better because it's true. There are some truly great tales of bravery and honor and all sorts of stuff that come out of war. It's not all, well, war is not a desirable outcome in anyone's eyes, I don't think. But, you know, excuse me a moment. There's a bit, there we go. Small leak potentially in my... Alrighty, now let's get our airbrush. Where to put it? That's the wrong one. Gotcha. Now, the other Mosquito I'd like to build, aside from either one that was involved in Amiens or Colditz, and I believe I've mentioned this to some of my current viewers, so, you know, is one that was flown by a famous Australian. Well, he's famous to us anyway. Guy named Keith Miller, who was He played cricket for Australia. Now, you're from South America. You might have heard of cricket. I doubt you'd have seen it played. Well, you might have seen it played. I'm making big assumptions here. Cricket's a very popular game in some parts of the world, not so much in others. It's not big in South America that much, and I believe you're more baseball sort of stuff. Anyway, he flew a Mosquito during the war, and I think it'd be kind of cool to build his. Now, well, the color we are looking for. Actually, first I will just quickly, let's just do our not diagnostics, run our checks on our airbrush. We are good to go, kids. It's that easy. Now, missed a little bit there, did I? No, that's just me being paranoid. All right, now, paint. That's the wrong yellow. That's rail yellow. That's for the Mustang. These are more acrylics. Not what I'm after. My lacquers are come here, you fuckers. Come here. Now let's see if we've got our trainer yellow. I'm going to try and jump out of my container here. Nah, not in this one. It's in the other one. Of course it is. Yeah. All right. I'm going to have to get up. That's not so bad. It won't kill me. Oh, it might. Should I take that chance? These are the questions. But yeah. And my favourite... there's a great Keith Miller quote from an interview he did with a guy named Michael Parkinson, who used to be certainly on British and to some extent on Australian TV. A bit of the man for, excuse me, I've got to do a bit of a stretch here. Oh, careful with that coffee cup. Oh, that's got coffee in it. And up we come. For interviewing famous people. And Keith Miller's biggest claim to fame, as far as it went, was, hang on a moment, do I need to do a bit more? Yeah, I do. The reason he was being interviewed by Parky was because he was a Test cricket player. And here we go, here's our colour, trainer yellow. And of course, to a lot of people, the idea of playing international sport, being under the eye of a nation and representing your nation is a lot of stress and pressure. And the big line is, because Parky's asked him, you can tell how well known the guy was as far as an interviewer by mere virtue of the fact that when I say Parky, a lot of people would just straight away know who he was and over here. Oh yeah. But yeah, he's asked Keith Miller, you know, how do you deal with the pressure of Test match cricket? And he's gone, Test match cricket isn't pressure, mate. Having a Messerschmitt up your ass at 40,000 feet, that's pressure. You got to go, yeah, mate. Yeah, it would be. And it's so yeah, I'd like to build his one. He did a lot of things that used to piss Australian cricket officials off. Did Keith Miller. He was the classic one of going out at all hours that simply broke team protocols. And but the bigger reality, the man was just too fucking good at his sport for them to not select him. Oh yeah, truly legendary. Like he was a notorious gambler, and Australia are up against it in one particular game, and I think not sure if the captain or the coach was trying to inspire them by saying the odds that the local bookies had them at, whatever, we'll say 10-1. And he's gentle with, yeah, I'll bet you 5-1 you're wrong. But yeah, I have reason to believe Australians have a reputation for being larrikins. And if so, it is guys like Keith Miller who built that reputation. Yeah. All righty. That looks like it's mixed. Bling down, because you don't want to be doing any of this airbrushing with your jewelry on. It's going to end badly. Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Now, trying to think if I've got any other great Keith Miller stories, but they're all pretty much of that ilk. Stumbling in after a night on the town, like walking in from going out into the change rooms. I've done that, except I was playing rugby. We'll leave that there. And ultimately having to go pretty much straight from the night out into the change rooms. Australia's already lost a few wickets. He gets changed, goes straight out and cracks a ton. You go, that's the gear. Now, I'm just going to move the camera away for a moment. Hello. Because you're going to see, in fact, you'll see the big flash. Yeah. You do not want me to have the camera on for that. It gets a little bit. There we go. Now, this won't take long, I don't think. What I might do very quickly is just reposition my compressor because it's twisting the hose in a way that I don't really want it to. Come here. Come on. There we go. Now you're going to get a slight, you've probably got a slight strobing effect from the, hang on. At least it's straight now. The LED lights. That'll, once I've got the airbrushing done, and the brush cleaned, that will cease. All right. Boom. One. Oh. Two. I love to count. Actually, no, I don't, but we'll leave that there. Now. There we go. Right. Actually, I can just do that. All right. Oh, yeah. Oh, there we go. Nice and solid there now. There we go. Now, that's better. It's always the second layer that does it. All right. Done. Let's just empty that paint out. All righty. Now, actually, here we go. Oh no, one more thing I need to do before I can turn the light out for a little while, so you don't keep getting that strobing. Very quickly. Oh, forgot to grab a bloody cotton wool bud. Give me a moment. And now the game begins. Oh. Come here, you. Let's just drain all that out. There's still heaps in there. There we go. I think. Yep. All right. Turn the compressor off. I'm going to turn this off for a while. I'm going to turn it back on. There we go. Strobe is gone. I'm not a fan of that. I'm trying to decide what I can do about it. This might be an area where better, rather than using my phone as the camera, where a proper camera might be the solution, but not too sure. Things to think about. Things to make you go, Now, now, let us delete brushes. Delete. All right, now let's see how harsh the cleaning process is on us. Sometimes it'll be quick, and other times it'll just go, you know what, I'm choosing to take a long time with this. It came out pretty nicely yesterday for us when we did the, well, not yesterday, the day before when we did some black. It came to the party. Let's just make sure that's nice and clean. After all, you don't want a dirty nozzle. At least I don't. Very good. Next. Now what I'm doing now, I'm at this point. Just going to pull the needle back a bit. Note, a bit. Not through the mechanism though. What I'm mostly doing it for is to try and protect the needle. Might just bring this up and back, and I reckon even maybe, can I? No. All right, so we're going to dunk. That's that one. Give that a bit of a twirl around. Get one of these brushes into it. There we go. Ooh, quite a lot came out of that. Let's try that again. All right. Robin is being rather persistent, which is not what I'm. Is really something I'm happy about. Certainly not when I'm cleaning. What I might do is dunk, dunk, dunk. At least that's clear. Make sure there's nothing in here. Right. Next. Spanner. All right, and then now by the time I've gotten all this cleaned, I might be able to unwrap the fuselage. And I'm not so against. I'll see how wet the paint is. And whee. There goes that, an ambulance. I live very close to an ambulance station. And yeah, that one wasn't, they've got two sirens they use. One is pretty much like that standard one you heard there. And the other actually goes at a frequency. This is dead set serious, and they only use that one. I don't have to deal with this next door sort of a cave. They generally deal with that at intersections if they think someone's not looking. you actually can feel in your body is that this frequency, like woo, woo, it's like, Jesus, you will pay attention. And that's, well, yeah. If the technology's there to do that for them, why wouldn't you? Now, there we go. Now, next. Now, that was a tip I got off of watching a guy on YouTube. He said you should never pull your needles through the mechanism. You want to push them through because then it'll take paint with it. And if you, well, no, he won't. Nor with that tune. I believe green sleeves is considered far more appropriate. There we go. That's our needle. Now comes the fun and games. Well, I might be wrong. It might be cooperative. We'll see. We'll see. Oh, yes. We'll see. Actually, the bigger thing I find living where I now do, look, as a position, on the whole, and as a place, it's great. Now, the part of it's been quite educational. Now, if I was a good golf player, I'm not. I don't even play golf, but I'm using that as an example. I can guarantee you a decent player would be able to nail the nearest major intersection in one shot. That's how close I am. I am probably, I'd estimate, no more than 50 yards, meters or perhaps more accurately 45 meters, depending on which you're into, from a turning lane that is related to that major intersection. And I hear all manner of horns and people clearly not merging well. And the conclusion I've reached in this time is that there's a whole stack of people out there who can't fucking drive. Now, I guess it's a downside. It's only a matter of time before I hear a very ugly screeching, a collision, and then sirens. That's going to happen at some stage. It's a question of when. Now, so yeah, when that happens, again, it's not really my issue. In as much as, well, I don't know if I'm necessarily required to run down there. I may not even be home when it happens. But yeah, I'll hear it when it happens, because it will. And what I'm going to do very quickly here, put that over there. That wasn't what I was thinking about. We'll do that. Now, here's what I'm after. When I do that, I like to go up into the mechanism a bit and bring it out, because you never know what you're dragging through. I like to clean, get the thinner right into the whole box and dice. If I can. Maybe go with, oh no, that'll do it. It's a little bit warped on the way through. One more shot, perhaps. There we go. Yep, that'll do it. Now, I think. Starting to get places with it anyway. Well, I can't really tell how they're going to come out until I've got to clean first. They're still under wraps at the moment. And I can't unwrap anything until I finish cleaning. Because that, or not cleaning, is when your airbrush is going to go, nah, look, you know about that working caper? That's not going to happen anymore. They tend to get very temperamental if they are not cleaned properly. So we'll have to see how the stripes came out. Like maybe once I finish cleaning, and I'll see if the paint's dry. So I don't want to move stuff if the paint's still wet. As I thought. There's more in there, I tell you. There we go. Right. Getting closer now. That's what I want to see. Almost. One more. And then there's one last little trick I like doing before we reassemble. We're still going to run more thinner through it anyway, just because that behooves me. Oh, another siren. Might be coming for a different, if it's going to the same thing that other one was, it's a bit ugly. That's all I'm saying. Now we're clear. All right. Now, final trick, just to be sure. We'll get this on hand. Give this a bit of a rummage around. Release. And that should have that very clear. Now, final touch. Actually, I can just do that. Don't need to use a clean piece. Excuse me a moment, guys. Get that out of the way. Get that out of the way. Use this. What we're going to do. Very quickly. Well, not quickly, but we're going to, now that that's got some thinner on it. Now, just in case there was anything left. And then I shall just wipe that. I think I was just being a bit anal, but that's okay. I would rather be excessively particular with my cleaning than not particular enough. Come here, you. Now, oops, days. Maybe just a little nudge. Just all right. Now that can go on. Oh, this is a purely cosmetic move that I'm about to do here. There we go. All it is that I spilled a little bit right there. I thought I had. That's better. Now, attach that. Oops, the days. All right. Now, depress trigger, insert needle. There we go. There we go. Winning. All right. Now, get that out of the way. In fact, put that away properly. Run some thinner and water through, and our brush is clean. And then we'll see if the paint's dried. Now, tomorrow, I would say we'll go the olive drab before hitting the red. Boom. All right. Now, put compressor on. Bam. Bam. That can go in the bin. Bam. And hang on. I'm going to push you away for a moment. Brace your eyes nonetheless. Righty. Splash. Actually, I'll put the lid on this before I knock it over, because that will give me the shits. Yes, it will. So why give myself the shits? Now, Alrighty, I put the lid on that one for exactly the same reason. Come on you go. Don't give me that nonsense. I ask you, what do you lid say? Now, and finally, give it a rinse. Hurry along there. How long does it take so long? How much is there left? Oh, Christ, quite a bit. And we're done. It's cleaned. Yay! And there was much rejoicing. Now, let us see if that paint's dry. It probably is dry enough to have a look. We'll see. If it's not, I'm not going to remove the tape because, well, it's just inviting trouble on yourself, that is. All right, let's have a look. All right. Ooh, nice. You can sort of start to see how one's coming together there. Might need to do some tight. In fact, I will need to, but that's okay. At least I think I will. All right. Oh, hang on, I can do that. There we go. And that as well. All right, almost done, guys. Some of this tape's going to pull up some of the other masks we've done. That's fine. That's not looking too shabby. Well, there's the wing stripes. Looking pretty good, actually. Hang on a moment. I'm just checking my line. Oh no, that should be fine. Yep. This one's a little crooked. We can tidy that up. Maybe. All right, but there's our stripes thus far. I can probably just leave this one here for the time being because I'm going to be doing a whole stack of other masking to do the olive drab. It's going to be under here. There we go. I mean, I'm going to... Actually, I probably can take that off because I'll just... But there we go. So, yeah. Alrighty. Of course, we got our propellers done as well. Here we go. Let's see how we've gone. In fact, that'll be these done. Give us a moment. We'll have a look at these. Very positive if we can. These are now done in their entirety. Yeah, it's starting to come together. Now, that side. Hang on. There we go. Now these, I would say, may well. Oh no, that's just the angle. Perhaps we'll have a bit of a closer look at them in due course. But first, get that last bit off. And I'll give you a closer zoom in on those because these, like I said, now completed. And should, with a bit of luck, look kind of swish. Give me a piece of paper to go behind that. So, on the one side, this is the inside of our wheel stems. We have this. And on the other side, we have that. Boom. And that, boys and girls, and others, is me done for today. Now, tomorrow, we've now there's two colors we need to do on that to get it completed. The bigger one is the red. The olive drab is not that extensive. Oh, and there's black as well, but I can do that with a spray can. So what I'm thinking, and I do, tomorrow we are going to do the olive drab. Now, that's not going to require much setting up. It really won't. And then we're going to set up the propellers. Yes, we are. And we're going to do them as well. So we're doing the olive drab and the propellers tomorrow. Or the propeller blades, more's the point. And then on Wednesday, my Wednesday, your Tuesday, depending where you are. Glad you enjoyed it, Bassman. We will be doing the red, and at that stage, it's onto the 109A. We've almost finished all the airbrushing over the three kits, and that is a good outcome in my eyes. Yes, and you will indeed see me tomorrow, Bassman. Now, it is time for me to do my usual wind-up spiel, part of which is to suggest to any first-time viewers out there that there's a magic button. That button is follow, like, or subscribe. Yes, it is. If you would like to track me down on other platforms, I'm Rob the Builder on Facebook and YouTube, and I'm Robster the Builder on Instagram and Twitch. And what do we do, people? We use the magic words. And those magic words are not Shazam. They are not open sesame. They are not abracadabra. They are follow, like, or subscribe. Yes, they are. Anyway, that's me done, as I said. Thanks again for watching. I do appreciate it. I really do. And we all know the drill. I'll be back tomorrow at a similar kit time and on the same kit channel. And hopefully I'll catch you good people then. See yous. My pleasure, David.